The Cherokee Nation is acknowledging that it made a mistake in not extending citizenship rights to freedmen and their descendants until 2017, something its principal chief says should have been done 156 years ago under the Treaty of 1866. Kennedy Sepulveda, who reports on Native Affairs, joins us now with more on the long history that has culminated with an apology from Chuck Hoskin Jr. Kennedy.
That's right, Rich. And nearly 12,000 freedmen descendants have enrolled in the Cherokee Nation in the last 5 years. But just this month, the Cherokee National History Museum in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, unveiled a new exhibit that honors freedmen and shares their story.
We have to recognize that there were times that we imposed trauma on others.
Chuck Hoskin Jr., Principal Chief of the Cherokee Nation, says the tribe is facing its history by embracing the spirit of equality.
And I think any nation is a stronger nation if they tell the whole of their story, the tragedy, the triumph, and the chapters that are dark and difficult. And I hope people come here and, first of all, understand that that happened. But I also hope they come away with some hope that we're in a new era in which, yes, we're recognizing that history, but we're also working towards collective healing.
The new exhibit details slavery and emancipation on the Cherokee Reservation, details of the Treaty of 1866, the vote that relinquished Cherokee freedmen's citizenship, and the fight to reestablish those rights.
The most compelling part of this exhibit is the stories that were submitted by the Cherokee freedmen community that are a large-scale installation of those community voices that tell the story that have not been told for more than a century.
My mother worked extremely hard for the rights of her children, her family, all of us. And so I must say, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that we've moved forward, and I am proud to say I am Cherokee.
The Cherokee Nation, along with the Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole, and Muskogee Creek Nations, signed treaties in 1866 that abolished slavery in the tribes and granted full citizenship to freedmen. Article 9 of the Treaty of 1866, signed by the Cherokee Nation, states all freedmen and their descendants shall have all rights of native Cherokees. However, in 2007, the Cherokee people voted to define citizenship as by blood, which cost 2,800 freedmen their tribal citizenship. Cherokee Nation reversed that decision in 2017, and the Cherokee Nation Supreme Court ruled to remove by blood from the Constitution in 2021.
We are going to hold the United States accountable for every part of every treaty that we have. We can't do it if we refuse to or deny the existence of provisions in the treaties that say, for example, we must give freedmen and their descendants all the rights of native Cherokees.
The Seminole Nation also kept the long-standing promise to the Seminole freedmen, but 3 of the 5 tribes did not keep their promise from their 1866 treaties. The Chickasaw Nation Senior Counsel Stephen Greetham sent a statement that reads, "Few things are more sensitive than a tribe's right to determine its own citizenship. As to the 5 tribes, each of us have our own treaties and legal history. The citizenship status of freedmen under Chickasaw Nation treaties with the United States was long ago litigated, and the U.S. Supreme Court held in 1904 that our treaties and laws neither vested freedmen with citizenship nor obligated the nation to extend citizenship. The Supreme Court concluded that, quote, the Chickasaw freedmen are not members of that tribe within the meaning of the provisions of the agreement submitting the amended agreement to a vote of the male members of the tribe qualified to vote under tribal law." In 2021, Principal Chief of the Choctaw Nation, Gary Batten, sent an open letter expressing willingness to consider extending citizenship rights to Choctaw freedmen. The letter ended with, quote, "Today we reach out to the Choctaw freedmen. We see you. We hear you. We look forward to meaningful conversation regarding our shared past."
We're responding to something that we thought was sincere, and we're hoping that it was not just an empty gesture, but one must also reflect what was going on a year ago. A year ago, there was revisiting of the Nehazda bill, which is Native American housing bill, that was being reviewed. Congressman Waters became aware of the plight of freedmen in Indian Territory. And so, wait a minute now, then maybe we should put a clause in there.
Nothing ever came from that open letter. Principal Chief Batten sent a statement that reads in part, "Tribal membership for freedmen is a sensitive and complex topic. Over the past year, our leadership has respectfully taken time to consider this issue, and we have asked for feedback. We proactively received messages from very few people, so we also asked about the topic in our annual membership survey. The response has been overwhelmingly clear. While our members have sympathy for people whose ancestors were enslaved, they also understand the importance of having clear definitions of who is eligible for membership in our tribe."
They were fathered by Indian men and enslaved women. But of course, the policy was that, well, we follow the mother, the status of the mother.
Muskogee Creek Nation also expressed openness to consider expanding their citizenship rights to freedmen in 2021. However, those rights never came. Principal Chief David Hills sent a statement that reads in part, "And as a nation that has endured policies intended to exterminate us because we are Creek Indians by blood, the idea of granting citizenship to any non-Creek person is one that engenders deep, conflicting emotions. Quite frankly, our citizens stand on both sides of this issue, but the solution to this is not another colonial intervention by the United States."
Unfortunately, I think a sentiment that maybe comes maybe from the tribal sector that there's this alien people trying to force themselves in our community, but we were already there. We arrived in the 1830s with them.
The Cherokee Nation is hosting a reception to celebrate the opening of the new exhibit. The celebration is planned for 2 p.m. this Saturday on the northwest lawn of the Cherokee National History Museum.